Okay, hi, I'm Gail.
Maureen, episode 7 here. We're going to talk about book signing first, which is her favorite.
It's
she
my favorite.
Loves this part of Tate. They were so good.
I only love it because it just shows her stupidity. But they would set us up for book signings in places we never heard of. Those were our marketing reports. They would send us marketing reports on book signings that we never heard of, and they would say that they contacted this bookstore and they're waiting for a reply. They never got replies apparently because they never revisited that area. And then they set up book signings for us in Canada. And so she lived in Sault Ste. Marie, which is right across the bridge from Canada, so that was no big deal. I went to her house. We took all 100 books, and we were going to go to this store. And we got to the border, and they said that we could not take our books into Canada unless we paid tax on them, and that was way too much money to pay.
It would have been like $400.
Oh, yeah. So we had to leave our books there at the guard check. We went to the
venue.
venue.
But then after that, after we did the tax thing, another guard came out and said, actually, you can't.
Oh, yeah, we couldn't even sell. Yeah, we could have paid the tax on them, taken our books there, but we couldn't sell them to anybody. So we were just taking, like, basically garbage and taking it back home with us because we couldn't do anything with it. So we got to the venue, and all we had were bookmarks, cards, and we just sat there like idiots all day. And they didn't even sell product that they could make anything with because it was all pre-made items.
Pre-made dinners and meals.
Pre-made dinners and meals. So in that instance, when we contacted Tate and told them about the problem, their response was,
I forgot about that.
well, we have a lot of Canadian authors who can sell their books in Canada. Well, I don't know if they understand the logistics of everything, but
or
we
basic
understand
governmental
that.
law.
Right. We can sell our books in the United States, too. That doesn't have anything to do with anything. So every book signing we had were what we set up for ourselves. Yeah. Even the store, a big chain store in Upper Wisconsin, was going to carry our books, and they said they were going to have somebody from Tate, which was our marketing person, right, was going to contact the store. They never did, so our book never got out there. They basically ignored us.
Yeah.
And but you want to talk about the timeline again?
Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to say real quick too that when our release date, September 8th, we had signed. There was a little health food store in our town. It was just in my town, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and we were going to do a book signing there because they were going to carry our book in there. But they didn't want to buy them from us. They wanted to buy it from Tate direct at cost. But Tate never returned their phone calls. Tate never got back with them to get it into their stores. So that, we didn't know that until later. But while she came up to do that book signing, we were doing a Google search of our book because, yay, it's our release date, whatever. And we found a book signing that we didn't agree to and that we didn't even know about in Sault Ste. Marie on September 26th. I was going to be in a different state that weekend. I was going to a wedding in Missouri, so we couldn't even be there. And they didn't know. They sent us an email and said, this is a book signing we've arranged for you. And they said, if you don't respond in 5 days, you can't go. Or it's canceled automatically. So I wasn't sure if I was going to Missouri, and then on day 6 I went to respond, and it was already day 5, so I just let it go. And then we found the event scheduled on a Google search of our book. And so we had to call them and cancel it. Also at the Canadian book signing, it's, when they make your appointments and they say contact the store before you go. Well, I did. They had set up, it looked like 2, October 10th and October 9th. I called both places, and it was the same woman. And she was the owner of both stores. And when I called her the second one, she said, didn't I just talk to you? Like, I don't know, did you? And she said, yes. I said, oh, did you really want 2 book signings at 2? She said, no, I never agreed to that. I agreed to 1 book signing in one of my places. So Tate just scheduled her for 2 different signings in 2 different places on 2 different days that she didn't agree to. And then we did, remember the release, we found our release on the Google search the day of our release. How did they spell your name? They called you Gail Van.
Oh yeah, Van. It was just the first 3 letters of my last name.
Yeah, they completely missed half of her last name.
Well, they lost my address too. That's true. And my social security number.
So we had to contact them and said, listen, the author's name isn't right in your press release. You have to fix that. It took them over 24 hours to fix that press release. And they were so proud, and they said, look, we fixed this for you. Check it out.
Which is all they're capable of doing, apparently.
And now when they said that they sent out the press release to media outlets, I looked at their list, and I just did this the other night, actually, because I never saw this list before, but that's my fault. They sent it to me, but Terry Cordingley sends so much sales pitches.
You stop listening after a while reading.
He tucked it in with one of the sales pitches, so I have a folder in my email titled Book Sale Offers, and there's 135 in there. And so he put it on there, but a lot of the people he emailed and sent the release to was the same person. Because if you live in a small town, the same person owns multiple radio stations. He sent it to the same person 3 times in 4 different instances.
Now, would that irritate you?
Yeah.
It would me.
Yeah.
I'd say, no, I don't want that.
Especially if you don't, I mean, you're keeping addressing them like, oh, here, by the way, in case you don't know, but then you've said in case you don't know 4 times to the same person.
Yes.
So there
it's kind of insulting.
Yeah, and so we had to cancel the one on the 26th. We had to rearrange what they screwed up on the 9th. And then that first week, how was our book listed on Amazon? The week, remember the week
it wasn't available, temporarily out of stock.
That was after, but the first week, do you remember the whole first week was available for pre-order?
Yes, yes.
Our book was released September 8th. Until September 14th, it said available for pre-order. You couldn't actually purchase it in full. And I had put numerous calls into Terry, into Jan, without any response. And I think you even tried to contact them by email.
Oh, yeah.
Did they ever respond to you?
No.
No. So on the 11th, and we were told we weren't supposed to do this. We weren't supposed to call the big chains, and we weren't supposed to call the big businesses. But I was sick of not getting a response, so I called Amazon myself. And at this point, they were not using CreateSpace to print their stuff. I heard recently that they switched, but they switched in 2016, I think. But they were still using their own printing department to do this. So I called Amazon, and I said, why is our book still available for pre-order? And they said, it's because we haven't received your product, and we can't sell a product we don't have in possession. So they said they couldn't sell something they didn't have. And that was why. So I immediately called. I was actually going on a family vacation. I'm in the car. My husband was so irritated. I was in the car the whole time trying to call Tate, trying to call Ingram, trying to call Amazon, doing all these phone calls and doing all this work. And I had to leave a voicemail with Terry. I left a voicemail with Jan. I emailed them both. I did not hear from them for a month. And when he called, he said, we'll try to fix that. And Amazon, the week later, it did say out of stock.
But didn't you call Amazon once and they said, I never heard of it?
They did at first, but then they transferred me to a different department where they knew about it. They had to look it up. And so in November, there's one email my mom sent in November 20th, and she said, okay, well, here we are November 20th, and still nothing. And then we contacted him again because we got nothing back. And I said, listen, we've given you ample time to respond. I've said before that I spew words, and I sometimes don't shut up. And so if I talk over my mom a lot too, because there was one, I remember when I was a kid, she's like, Maureen, I love you, but you just stop talking. So I have that problem. And I have it in email too. There's nothing that's safe from me. And so I took a day and I wrote in my Word program, it was 2.5 pages long, of all the things that they've done wrong since we started the marketing process and before, going back to the editing. And Terry had responded. My mom had said, and you never responded to the email, and so you just were ignoring it. And Terry's response, bold as it was, if I haven't responded to an email, you can probably just assume I didn't get it. And that was all he said about it.
Even though he got all the emails before.
And so I had actually found an email. My mom sent it to me and to Terry, and then I forwarded it again to Terry before we even sent this other email. And then he still said, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So then I forwarded it to him a second time. So we got it 3 times. So it was this whole big debacle where it wasn't available on Amazon and even on Barnes & Noble.
No.
You couldn't even search for it on Barnes & Noble.
No.
It wasn't available at all. And the way they get away with that is in their contract it says places like and such as. So they don't specifically say Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com.
That's right. Yes.
So that was their loophole, is they put, when you're having the phone conversation with them, they say, no, it will be there. But the contract also states you can't be held to anything that's not in writing. So that was their loophole in that. So it's now November, and I told you before that we were getting a little disenfranchised with them around December of 2014 when they asked us to submit our photos 3 times.
Yes.
So we're already mad, and I'm just getting more irate by the day here because it's not available on Amazon. At that wedding I went to in September, I had every member of my family say, we're waiting to buy it on Amazon because we want to leave a review.
Even my friends, everybody was waiting for that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did it ever get in that store?
No. No.
I don't even think anyone showed up or called or anything, did
No,
they?
nobody contacted them at all. Not at all. They're just...
So that was our signing experience. So it was just one big lie. That's all it was.
Yes, we had to do all the work. Mm-hmm. I don't know what we paid for.
No, yeah, the marketing retainer, that's why I do this when I say marketing retainer, because there was no marketing. We would get that report saying, we contacted this place, it's your job to follow up.
Yeah.
But when I did do that once, and they said they'd never been contacted. They didn't know what we were talking about.
But the marketing reports they sent us, the marketing reports they sent us were just book signings that they were waiting for contact information, or they were waiting for a response.
Yep.
So that never got a marketing report. We were
No.
supposed to get quarterly reports. We never got any. And a friend of mine actually got one from Tate. They bought one specific, and it was $15 more than the price of the book.
Yeah.
They paid $40 for it.
Yeah, that and the shipping was like $8 from Tate too, so it bumped it up to over $30. So we're gonna have time to do one more with my mom really quick, and we're gonna talk about royalties in the next one.
What royalties?
Touche. So stay tuned for episode 8, guys.